Welcome to this simplified go-around tutorial for Boeing airplanes in MSFS. For this demonstration we're using the PMDG 737 in MSFS 2020, but the process is the same for any Boeing aircraft in MSFS 2020 or 2024. We're currently on final approach to Stansted and all configured for landing. Before we start the go-around demo, I want to talk about missed approaches. So every time you plan a flight in the sim, the FMC will automatically add a missed approach path to the end of your flight plan. Essentially, if you go around, this is the flight path you want to follow. I'm going to show you how to follow this flight path, and then also how to vector yourself from the end of that missed approach back towards your destination runway. Around 400 feet, I'll disengage autopilot and auto throttle, as you would for a normal landing. I'm then going to rock the aircraft from left to right a little bit just to simulate an unstable approach, the kind of situation where you'd want to go around. And then once we reach minimums, which I've set to 200 feet radio altimeter, I'm going to demonstrate the go-around procedure. So autopilot's now disengaged. We've got kind of an unstable approach going on here. As we reach minimums, I'm going to throttle up and retract the flaps. And once we've got positive rate, I'm going to raise the landing gear also. Manually flying the airplane until we're above 400 feet, just as you would during takeoff. Then I'm going to reactivate the auto throttle. I'll set speed to 180 knots so we can fly flaps clean. I'll also re-engage the autopilot and put the airplane into level change mode. So what will happen now is the airplane will continue to follow its current heading. It will automatically level off at the altitude on the autopilot panel, so that's 2,000 feet. And once it reaches 2,000 feet, it will back off the throttle and maintain that stable airspeed of 180 knots. So now we're straight and level, good airspeed, good config, good altitude. It's now time to look at flying our missed approach procedure. Once we reach that first waypoint on our missed approach, we're going to vector ourselves using heading select mode to the second waypoint on that path, and so on. On the autopilot panel, we will dial in a heading that will vector us towards that second waypoint. So the pink dashed line on the navigation display shows the heading that we are currently dialing in, and we're going to activate heading select mode. The airplane will now follow our selected heading towards that waypoint. And once we reach that second waypoint, we will then start to vector ourselves towards the final waypoint on that missed approach path, which is Barkway. Having reached the second waypoint on our missed approach path, we are continuing to use heading select mode to vector ourselves towards the final waypoint on our missed approach path. After that, we're going to demonstrate vectoring from that final waypoint on the missed approach towards the destination airport. Having reached the final waypoint on our pre-programmed missed approach path, we're now going to vector ourselves towards the intercept waypoint for our destination. So that is roughly the end of that white dotted line on the navigation display. First of all, we'll want to fly parallel to the approach path. And then once we are parallel with the end of that dotted line, we're going to start to vector ourselves back towards the airport. You might find that after a go-around, the airplane still has approach mode activated. We're just going to knock that off and basically reset everything, ready for our second approach attempt. We're now parallel with the end of that dashed line, which shows the approach path to our destination. So we're now going to start vectoring ourselves towards that dashed line. This will put us on a good path to intercept the localizer and reactivate approach mode. As we make this turn, I'm also going to start reconfiguring the aircraft for landing. First, I'm going to reactivate localizer mode. I'm going to set desired speed to our approach speed, which was 133 for our first attempt. And at the same time, I'm going to increase the flaps to full. I'm also going to drop the gear at this point. You might want to leave it till you're on final, it's up to you. But the gear horn will probably yell at you if you don't. The airplane will kind of manage its speed during that deceleration, so you don't end up in a bad state where your airspeed is too low for your current flap settings. it will kind of slow down as the flaps increment. So shortly after making those configuration changes, you should find yourself in good shape for approach. So that's approach speed, flaps full, gear down, on a heading that will allow us to intercept the localizer. And additionally, if we look at the glide slope display on the PFD, you can see we are comfortably below that slope. From now on, it's pretty much just a normal approach, so the airplane will automatically intercept the localizer, and at that point we will activate approach mode. As the airplane intercepts the glide slope, I'm going to activate the second autopilot for an auto land. This is literally just a preference thing because I'm lazy. And as the aircraft lands, that concludes our go-around tutorial for Boeing airplanes in MSFS. Thank you for watching, I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, or if you need more specific help, there's a Discord in the description where you can share screenshots and videos of your issue. Remember, please drop a like, feel free to subscribe for regular sim content. Take care, and I'll see you next time.